Carrie asks, I have a 20-year-old Eon deck that has been very good over the years. Now, Eon is a brand, one of the earlier brands of composite decking material. So non-wood, the idea is you don't have to finish it. But at this point, it seems to have lost its surface gloss. We regularly clean the deck with water, then squeegee the excess off, and towel dry it to remove any lingering dirt. So you can see Carrie takes really good care of her deck. This has worked for years, but now the deck looks hazy and whitish when dry. What can we do to restore the original beauty? Well, I've run into this myself with my own deck. I have a Trex composite deck at my place, and it's dark brown, and it's beautiful, rich color, really love it. Wash it maybe a couple of times a year. But over the last few years, I've noticed that even though it looks great when it's wet, after scrubbing and lots of water rinsing and everything, it looks kind of hazy. So as it turns out, the cause of this is mineral buildup on that plastic. Now in my case, and perhaps in Carrie's case, the minerals come from two sources. One is just the natural dirt that blows onto a deck, especially any dirt that has a lot of calcium in it. Cement dust is really bad for this. Not that that's very common, but dust can settle on there and it can bond to the surface, and it becomes pretty insoluble, which is the root of the problem. It builds slowly. Over time it gets duller and duller and whiter and whiter. So you need to apply something to dissolve those minerals. Now when I first ran into this problem, I thought, well, how about some vinegar? Good strong 7% pickling vinegar. That should eat off the minerals no problem. Put some on, let it sit for half an hour, washed it off, let it dry. There was some improvement, but not a whole lot of improvement. So long and the short of it is, there are products out there that are meant for dissolving minerals, so calcium, rust, things like that. And there are two that I know of. One is called CLR. It's kind of been around a long time. And there's another one called Crud Cutter. It's a mineral remover. And what I have found works spectacularly well is you take a product like this mineral dissolving product, you dilute it with water about 50-50, then you just slosh it on the surface. I actually use the same brush that I would use to wash the deck, which is one of those long-handled car washing brushes where you can put a garden hose on it, so you get the soft bristles, and then if you want the water flowing out as well as you scrub with these soft bristles. So without water flowing, I just dip it in this tub with a diluted liquid in it, slosh it on the surface, make sure it's generously covered, leave it for maybe an hour. In that time, depending on the weather, the stuff could have dried or partially dried, but that doesn't seem to matter. Just let it sit there, let it do its job, and then go back and rinse. And you want to rinse with a lot of water because it's the rinsing that's going to get those dissolved, and there's now dissolved minerals off the deck. But Carrie has done something else here, which is pretty important if you have hard water, which we do here, and that's not to let the water lay on the deck after you've rinsed it, because that water has minerals in it too, probably very similar to the minerals that you got rid of with the solution. So squeegeeing is good. I've never gotten on my hands and knees to dry my deck with a towel or anything, but what I find works very well and quite quickly too is a large leaf blower. It moves a lot of air and it blows the water off, and actually you can even see the water drying where this thing is blowing off the water. So you do those two things. You dissolve the minerals, rinse the deck thoroughly, blow it off or squeegee it off, and it's worked well for me in different situations. I think it'll work well for Carrie and maybe for you too.